and chances are finally taken. This holiday season,
does Natalie live here?
all you need
Hello.
is love, actually.
Welcome to another episode of Love. I'm your host, Will Wonka. Today, since the Christmas spirit still lingers, we'll talk about a character in the movie Love, Actually. The movie presents 8 different couples who in one way or the other is experiencing love during Christmas. Of all these couples, the character of Mark and his love for Juliet is the relationship that got my attention. Why did it get my attention? The reason for this is that Mark's love for Juliet and the respect for the relationship of Juliet and Peter showed what for me true love is. Firstly, like Jesus' love for us, love entails selflessness. Selflessness in a way that we always put the benefit of the other before ourselves. By putting the other before ourselves, we show true love because we give all the best to the other to make the other happy when sacrificing ourselves. However, we must note that selflessness should only be up to a point that the person will not be dependent on you. That it should not imply the phrase, "I can't live without you." In this way, we not only make the other person happy, but also let him or her grow as a person. In the movie, Mark showed this selflessness by hindering his love for Juliet because he was to be married to his best friend Peter. This was a sacrifice done by Mark for the happiness of his best friend, thus showing how Mark loved Peter to a point that he would sacrifice his own happiness for him. This also shows how Mark loved Juliet to the extent that he would not ruin Juliet's current relationship because of his personal desires. Secondly, loving is giving love freely, without expecting something in return. Often, people think about love of giving and taking. There's no problem with this. The problem comes when people expect to receive too much that they become sad if they don't get what they want. Also, by expecting something in return all of the time, the idea of love becomes something like the concept of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, which should not be the case. For me, love should be given freely, without any expectations, because this is a sign that you really love someone. This giving love freely and giving love with expectations could be compared to unworthy invitation. When you sincerely invited the person, then you don't expect a gift when the person comes. The presence of a person is enough, because that's what makes you happy. However, there are some people that invite people with the intention to receive gifts in return. That is, they would want to count their return on their investment. The perfect example of this are people who get affluent and powerful ninongs and ninangs, even though the bride and the groom hardly know them. In Mark's case, he freely gave his love to Juliet by making the best wedding that she ever had, and also by supporting Juliet and Peter's happiness even though it was hard for him, just as what his reason for being cold to Juliet is, which is, and I quote, "It's a self-preservation thing." Thirdly, loving is setting the other person free. This means that if we really love a person, we should support the things that make the person happy, even if it will result to you being left out. By doing so, we will let the person grow in happiness rather than limiting his or her development as a person. This may sound cliché, but it is through setting the other person free that we could show our truest intentions, which is letting the other experience happiness. For Mark, the greatest thing he did was when he showed his love to Juliet through the placards in front of Juliet's house, and then set her free by saying, "Enough, enough now." He did this so that the relationship of the three would not be compromised. As a matter of fact, at the end of the movie, we could see that Juliet, Peter, and Mark were together at the airport, showing that they still had a good relationship towards each other. In conclusion, Mark's experiences was appealing because it backed my view on love. That is, loving entails selflessness, loving is giving love freely, and loving is setting the other person free.
Good.
Come here.
Won't do. I don't kiss strange men.
Neither do I.
Dream of caramel. To think of.
I don't want trouble.
I'm not trouble.
You're taken.
You kissed me.
What are you, 12? My boyfriend's here.
He's here where?
There.
He's a
Our next topic is Closer, a dramatic movie which depicts problems of real-life relationships. On this movie, I, your love guru, will focus on the aspect of honesty and of truthfulness in relationships. First of all, I believe that truthfulness is important in any kind of relationship, be it between friends, family, lovers, classmates, office mates, and the like. It is important because if one is honest, one is showing sincerity to his actions and respect towards the other person. This honesty becomes more important in romantic relationships because the foundation of love of couples is based on trust. This trust was built the first time they knew about each other. Without this trust, the romantic relationship is not possible. For example, would you love a person who gave you a fake name when he introduced himself to you? Would you love a person who always made stories of his success in life? Would you love a person who said that he's not married, but in reality, he is? Obviously, most, if not all, would answer no to all of these questions. Given those examples, we can see that love will not occur if trust is not present. With this, it could be said that honesty is always the best policy among couples because it is through honesty that couples grow and mature as individuals, and as a result, the relationship grows as well. The couples grow and mature as individuals because as they are open to one another, they learn more things about each other and see things in a different perspective that they never saw before. By seeing things in a different perspective, it helps them understand what each other lack, thus help them change as individuals. As each of them grows and understands their partners more, the relationship develops as well since they share a deeper knowledge of each other. In addition, honesty results to happiness and fidelity. It results to happiness and fidelity because each of the people involved in the relationship try their best to avoid to commit harmful mistakes as they know it would hurt their loved one. By avoiding those mistakes, they would rather do things to make their beloved happy. Thus, their relationship becomes richer and stronger. However, by doing the contrary, problems would arise. For example, in the movie, we can see that the couples Dan and Alice and Larry and Anna fought because Dan wasn't honest to Alice while Anna wasn't honest to Larry. If they told their respective partners of their love for each other, then they would have avoided hurting each other. In turn, they would all live a happier life. Given this, I would like to move to my next point, which is truthfulness is brutal but a good teacher. Often, we hear people say that the truth hurts. Indeed, it hurts. It hurts because it is hard to accept that someone so dear to you have done things that would hurt your heart. It hurts because the doer of the action is someone least expected. As people always say, of all the people, why him or her? However, brutal as it may sound, the truth is a good teacher, where you will learn from your mistakes and become a better person in the future. It is like education, where almost everyone fails every so often. These failures, although hard to deal with, are the ones who push you to develop more and become more intelligent and wise persons. Lastly, the truth also sets a person free. It sets a person free because the mere act of telling the truth removes the person of his or her pride and ego. It sets a person free because in telling the truth, we spare the person from further agony. It sets us free because telling the truth is an act of love. As such, when one has committed an act of infidelity, the best thing to do is to be open to the partner and confess. It is only through this way that the person doesn't make a fool of his or her partner. This is what the characters in the movie failed to do. As a result, all of them did not mature spiritually, and in one way or another, they still feel pain deep inside. Thank you for watching Love Guru. This is your host, Guru Wongka. Bye!